decider matchup here. Whoever wins this, whether it be the British Empire, the Ottoman Empire walks away with a victory. They've been playing tooth and nail to pick up this victory. We've seen 2 draws. That is incredible to even consider. And this is what it comes down to, Westy. Where are our eyes going to be focused here at the start?
Well, again, I mean, I think the infantry section of that map, more so than anywhere else, played a huge part in that final score. We did see a lot more action in some of the bases that were a little bit further out, which was nice to see.
Yep.
We weren't just looking at the infantry section, but again, I think it's going to play a pivotal role because there are 3 capture points in a very small space there, and you can just sort of do a round robin and keep moving. But if the enemy team are doing exactly the same,
no one really benefits.
Exactly, those flags are going to move all the time.
And that's the reason we actually saw the British Empire struggling in that previous game in a little bit of a way. They didn't quite have the outer points. They were struggling to really lock it down. But here we go. Let's take a quick stock as to what's happened. Oh my word, that's a long old dip dive. Gotta pull that. Pull the please,
yeah,
please. Don't make me nervous.
So it's early days in the round. We're looking at
which points are with which team here?
Which points are with which team? Well, let's have a look. I think the Ottoman Empire currently have control of A, B, C, and E, and the British Empire have direct control of D and G and are fighting to take hold of F. So at the moment, the Ottoman Empire are in the lead again, as they were in the last round. But, you know, it's very early days. And at the moment, you're not looking at, like, 2 seconds left to go, frantically fighting for those tickets.
And this is the difference, though. Again, you saw players like Ansel having these huge performances. You had, you know, every single player who we've, I guess, highlighted in a way having their moments. But it didn't equate into pulling a massive lead. You've got to play for that objective. And I'm hoping we see more of that here. I want to see these captains make their team work.
There was one thing that you might not have noticed, because on the right-hand side there, you've got the health meter. As Driftor jumped over that barbed wire, it damaged him.
Yeah.
So you need to pay attention to that. Just because the barbed wire's there and you think you can jump over it, yes, you can, but it will damage you when you do that.
Okay.
Looks like he's having a sleep on the railway track there, doesn't he?
When
that train comes along,
that's
not going to be...
tracks.
Yeah, when that train comes along, that's not going to be a pretty sight, is it?
No, it's really...
It's not going to be very good at all.
So, early dominance coming out for the Ottoman Empire here. They are in a very good position thus far, putting themselves up on, it was almost 5 caps to 2.
Well, actually,
however, 3 of them are now being contested.
Yeah, and that means the British Empire are making some inroads. And that obviously they need to do as much as they can. And I can actually hear, I overheard that on the speaker, X Factor saying, get that cap. These guys, they're obviously playing in the live stream. They're here to show you this brand new map. But for some reason, I can't figure out why this means so much to them.
What can I say?
We're probably going to see some really good gameplay here. I mean, he's taken out one, he switches to the pistol, he finishes it off. M1911, I think that was a headshot, I'm not 100% sure, but that was a nice play there. That was a nice play.
Yeah, it's now just trying to convert these kills into actually getting map dominance, getting control of these points. As said, you know, getting the kills wasn't the issue before. A lot of the players were just playing for that. But that's not just Battlefield.
No.
Battlefield is more than that here.
And as we've said a couple of times, and anybody who missed that in the earlier part of the stream, when you kill players in Conquest, that doesn't count towards the ticket bleed anymore. You need to be focusing on those objectives, and it does come down to the wire. It means that at those end of those games, if you are neck and neck, you're going to have a frantic moment trying to make sure that you've got more flags than the enemy team right at the death.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, though, you can see the lockout coming in for the Ottoman Empire. They're actually playing very well as a collective. They've stranded the British Empire towards pretty much that western front, almost the very far out reaches of this map, making them have to traverse that terrain that really isn't conducive to these players walking all that way. And it's a long old rotate to get to this capture point. However, they're going to take that challenge on here.
X Factor using the good old, the good charge mechanic there. And obviously that means he now can't run. In fact, I think it was Stoder that was doing that. I do apologize. But you're using the tactic to get out of the way of the tank, but then that puts him at a disadvantage because he can't move fast enough once he gets towards the building. And unfortunately, that led to his death. Yeah,
out of the frying pan into the fire, I believe, is a phrase.
That's a very good analogy.
Yeah, I'd really enjoy it if the flamethrower dude was on the other side. Then the analogy would have been perfect. Not quite the case. Hopefully, someone can just live that dream for me. But we are going to be seeing again Ottoman Empire, their early game so far. I'm talking to them like they're some incredible team, like their early game strats are coming through. No, but they are actually playing better as a collective to get those opening rounds down. They isolated the British Empire pretty far out, Now the tides are turning a little bit. It's still pretty close here. However, the train's going to come out soon to play. That's still a factor here. That's in the back pocket.
10 minutes to go. We're looking at a 20-point gap. We've got some really good players out there on the battlefield. But as we've seen all the time in these last 2 games, the British Empire have a knack for coming back right at the last minute. Now, if they're going to try and perform a similar tactic here, perhaps it's more advisable that they try and go for the win just a little bit earlier. Maybe they look at that clock a minute before they did last time and go, oh, we haven't got much time. We better make sure we take some of those points. Good view of the mechanic, the engineer mechanic.
And look at this lockout so far.
There. Yeah, oh wow, the lockdown is near enough complete. That's a full 5 flags, 1 being contested, so you can consider it maybe 5.5.
Yep.
And then 1 flag to the British Empire.
And this is how you get those big leads building up. This is when you're going to start seeing that train have to be a counterbalance. They need to get a way back into the map. And one of them will be that train station. Getting that as a capture point will be huge for them. That's a good platform to then push back into the village and start working the way back through. Again, it works hand in hand. Once you get one of those points under your belt, you can build off the back of it. However, that's yet to come in. So look at it again. 74 tickets to merely 38, although all of them are being contested.
What is going on with the British Empire? They all gone and taken a break. What's going on? It was a nice takedown there.
But did he need to do that? He saw 2 players there and went, do you know what? I'll go for the takedown rather than the kill.
Maybe it was a rush of adrenaline, like, you know, you're live on Twitch. You need to impress, so it could have been that. Again, we see a good use of the charge mechanic getting across the road there, but now he can't move very quickly inside this building. It's good that he's in cover. You know, that's a good way of using that mechanic. But you do have to be careful. If you decide to leave yourself out in the open, and then that's not going to be a good situation to be in.
Again, though, this is what happens once these players get their head around the maps, how they work. Where can I use that bayonet charge? If there's cover I'm going to that I can maybe, you know, hunker down in for a little bit, go ahead. That makes perfect sense. But let's dive into the action and see how that's come down, because there's a lot of those points up in the air to start with. Now it's starting to again fall into the Ottoman Empire's hands. I don't know how this is happening. This is the most, not one-sided, but this is the most drastic game we've seen so far. The pressure might be just getting to the British Empire. Are you okay down there?
I think he might be having a little bit of a problem.
He's struggling. It's tough.
You can see that the British Empire are trying to make inroads. They do have, well, they did have their hands on 2 objectives, but as you can see, the F objective there is taking some serious heat now from the Ottoman Empire. Whatever it is, they must have a good distribution across the map. They must have a few players here and there that are running between these objectives and helping to keep them under their control. And as you can now see, the armoured train has come in for the British Empire, as we thought it would. I mean,
they need it.
They definitely need it right now. But, again, they need to make sure they use it effectively. As far as I could tell from that last shot there, at the moment it appears there's only a driver in this train. And already you can see the Ottoman Empire are all over the train. It's taken a little bit of damage, and it's not even come anywhere near the centre of the map yet.
Now, I'm wondering who we have in the skies for the other side. For the Ottoman Empire, who is going to be the counter to this? Okay, we got
Mr. Dalek JD here coming in with a bomber.
Well, he was in the sky. This could be one of the big issues here.
Ponyline
HD is the man in the sky. So he is the, I guess, if you want to call it that, a hard counter. He is defeatable, 100%. But he is the hard counter. So again, you're seeing this going back and forth. And now he's got his eyes set on how to take down that train. Look at it taking an absolute beating. Now 50 tickets in the lead. The Ottoman Empire is stretching their legs.
And a good shot of the flamethrower there. That was really good use of the flamethrower. Wow. He knew the player was a little bit too far away. He was taking a bit of damage, so he stepped round the corner, waited for the player to reappear, and came round with the flamethrower and just took him down.
That's just smart gameplay already coming.
The train is down to a quarter of its health.
And what difference has it made? Let's look at the actual difference. It has given them stability here. That's the only thing you'd say. It really has opted them a chance back in. It opens a window of opportunity, but they have to walk through it, and they've not done that just yet. The train's about to go down. It's done for. There's no 2 ways about it.
What they need is a hard counter to Ponyline HD.
Pretty much.
I wonder if the developers thought to include that.
They need it. Please nerf that one player.
One thing you've got, though, is I think maybe some people have the concern that the behemoths are too powerful. I think single-handedly Ponyline has proven that that is not the case. If you are skilled at doing something in the game and you can counter something that is powerful, then you've got the opportunity to maybe use the behemoth against the enemy team, think they've got hope, and then it's already gone.
Now, this is where things get interesting, though, Westy. This is when previously the British Empire did actually have opportunities to turn it around, and they did that before. However, they have not had the same benefit off the back of the behemoth there. They've not had the great time, and you've just missed on the charge. Now you're in a bad position, but dancing around against each other. They finally take them down, but at what cost here? It's an absolute bloodbath going down.
Everyone's dead.
And at the end of the day, no matter which way the cookie crumbles, the Ottoman Empire is still massively in the lead. This is double the tickets here. They have turned up to play. They saw the challenge and they've taken it head on, and they've been outplaying the British Empire since the start now.
They really have. And do you know what? I do believe that if the Behemoth had come along a little bit earlier, not that it does, but if it had come along a little bit earlier, I think the British Empire would have stood a chance. But with 4.5 minutes to go and a gap in the tickets of nearly 60, I don't really see a way that the British can turn this one round.
No.
Which is a shame.
It would need a heroic effort, and it can happen. We're not saying it's impossible. That's the thing. It's always possible at this sort of point. You've just got to completely lock out the opponent.
Yep.
Again, with that ticket bleed being taken away from being rewarded for killing players and when they respawn. Because that was the factor, is when they actually respawn, the ticket would drop down as well, rather than just the kill itself. So that being removed, it's still got possibilities. You can lock teams down. You can still commit your troops in. You can still put your squad into play. But at this point, they're still pulling it a little closer, but not by much. Not by a huge amount, no, not at all. I mean, the only saving grace I think that could really come to the British Empire's aid, and you should never rely on Mother Nature to provide, but if the sandstorm was to roll in, then, you know, it might provide them a little bit of cover to maybe take back some of these objectives. But with such a large ticket gap, is it really going to make a difference at this late stage? With about 3 minutes left to go, that ticket gap is still very, very big. I'm not even sure they could turn it round at this point. Not unless the Ottoman Empire just stood still. Yeah, that's the thing. Even just contesting points, slowing down the cap, would be huge for, you know, the British Empire. I think they'd start to struggle on that one. Again, for them, though, they've got to fight till the very end. And I think that's Sinai as they go for a nice little charge, just having a little run around the map, look and see what he can find. And I don't think there's anyone really too nearby him. However, you can see already, he knows there's someone there to take this fight. Well, as you can see, above the F icon there, you can see that little bar with the red and the blue. Well, you could see it because he's now dead. Yeah, but that showed that that point was contested, and we could tell that from the gameplay. So here's an overview of the map, or there was an overview, and as you can see, it's kind of evenly split in terms of the flags that we've got, but that means that each team is gaining tickets at the same rate, so that gap is not going to change. And that falls into the hands of the Ottoman Empire. They were clearly stronger at the start of the game. Maybe now, again, the British seem to have stalled them a little bit, but they haven't really gone much further than that. Yeah, it takes more than stalling at this point. However, we're seeing the battle still commencing. No one's giving up on this one. It's still very much up in the air. And you can see Anderzel looking for more opportunities, trying to find a way to work his way back in and taking down some of the buildings around him, trying to cause damage to the structures itself so he can allow his team to make the push towards, you know, possibly getting towards B, opening up avenues of attack. And that looks like where they're going here at this point. A little bit of a fire coming down. And he does actually manage to find Dalek there as well. So still doing great deals of work. Yeah, I mean, we're coming towards the end of the round now, and, you know, it looks like near enough a foregone conclusion that we've got for the Ottoman Empire. And, you know, it has shown off a lot today of the power that players have in Battlefield. It's not all about the equipment that you've got, it's about the person behind the equipment, because it's quite clear that the Ottoman Empire have got some players on their team that really know how to use their equipment. It's fantastic to see. Again, I just can't wait to see more of this already. We're already just getting a glimpse of what's been capable here. And wow, ouch. Oh, Dalek JD taking down level cap there. That was a rather brutal takedown, I must say. About a minute to go, the Ottoman Empire pretty much have sealed the deal here. Yeah, points-wise, this one looks done for. Finally, we have the victor after everything. After going all the way through that, it was a gritty battle, to say the least. So in the last minute, they can reflect on that and be incredibly proud of what they've been able to achieve here. A massive victory in the end, just to really cement that they, you know, we were the better team. We made it look close, you know, those draws, but actually, we've got this. So again, though, overall, the scoreboard looks phenomenal. I can't wait to see who's actually been playing well, over, you know, from the entire course of this game. But the main thing here is Battlefield 1 has looked amazing. It has looked amazing, and, you know, with the live stream coming to you over Twitch, you guys at home have had a really good look at what Battlefield 1 can offer you. The guys at Microsoft and Xbox who've put on this live stream today, thank you to them, because without them, we might not have got to have seen this gameplay, but you have seen some absolutely amazing Battlefield gameplay. We think 2 draws in a row. That barely ever happens in Battlefield. Not in the same server with the same players. That's just, you know, a true reflection of how balanced the teams are over there. But in this one here, with just 10 seconds to go, the Ottoman Empire have overpowered the British. This has been a beautiful glimpse at what Battlefield 1 can bring to the entire gaming scene. This is what I'm excited for. This is what I turned up for here today. And there's a victory in the end